Hello and welcome back to the Schlabcast. Week 14 NFL Pick'em. Andy here. I'm with Jeff. Jeff, how are you doing?
So good. What's happening, everybody? Can't believe it's week 14 already.
Yeah, it's crazy how the season has just flown by. We just had our Thursday night game between the Patriots and the Pittsburgh Steelers. It was initially scheduled to be one of the lowest projected totals in the past, I don't know how many years, but 30 points. Looks like they exceeded that. They had what,
It was 21 to 18, I think.
39.
39?
So
Yeah.
so if you bet the over, good for you. Did you have a chance to catch any of that game, Jeff?
I saw a little bit of it at work, and I saw the Patriots score two touchdowns like right away. And it was like 14 to 3. And everybody was kind of like, uh, okay. This is more points than the Patriots have scored in like the last 3 weeks. So that was definitely interesting. I don't think a lot of people picked the Pats in this game. I definitely did not. They also didn't score any points in the second half. So there you go, right there. And the Steelers scored, I think, like 12 or 15 points in the second half. Just came up short, but I don't know
Yeah.
what's up with that Steelers team. Their Trubisky is not the answer as a backup, clearly. He gets booed every time he plays.
It was an interesting game. I picked the Steelers too. I've had little faith in a two-win New England Patriots team. They did have that switch at quarterback, so maybe Bailey Zappi gave him a little extra spark.
Yeah.
But I was paying a little bit more closer to that game just because of fantasy implications that we will get into a little bit later. But
Hmm.
yeah, the Patriots they looked good, and yeah, Trubisky looked like old Trubisky. Their offense looked flat.
They
So
couldn't
yeah,
run the ball. There's just nobody could really move the ball well. Zappi had a couple of just good drives and good throws, and then they kind of fizzled out after that. But he had put up enough points to last, I guess.
I will say actually Ezekiel Elliott actually looked pretty good out there. He got a lot of volume, but for not having really watched him in a while, he had a lot of these really good jump cuts, and he
Yeah,
looked pretty quick.
I
I was
noticed that
impressed.
too.
So I take the L on that one. Patriots
Same.
get the win. All right, we want to move on to the next game. We have Tampa Bay Buccaneers 5-7 visiting the Atlanta Falcons. You already know who I picked.
Ah,
But on a
as
serious
much as
note,
I don't want to pick the Falcons here, I think I have to. I
yeah.
don't know. What were you gonna say?
No, I was gonna say on a serious note, it looks like Artie Smith is finally understanding that if he uses his good players, they can win. It's a divisional game, so even though they're at home, it will be close. I still am gonna pick the Buccaneers. Are you
I'm picking the Falcons. Sticking with it. I don't know why, but I am.
Yeah, me and my hard head.
Yeah. I think it's pretty much a coin toss here. I think either team could win. It's just whoever shows up on that specific day. All right, moving on to Lions at Bears. Not a whole lot to discuss here. I think the Lions continue to win. I don't think they will have a problem with this 4-8 Bears team. I think Lions definitely win that division, no problem.
Yeah, I got the Lions too. In the first, what was the score of the first matchup? I'm trying to find. Okay, Lions won 31-26 at home.
Okay, so it was a close game.
Yeah. Because I remember because I have Justin Fields fantasy. That's the only reason I remember.
Gotcha.
He had a good game. But yeah, regardless, I still have Lions. Moving on to the next game, Indianapolis Colts visiting the Cincinnati Bengals. Cincinnati Bengals coming off of that, was that Monday night
Really,
victory?
yeah, that's a high there. Can they like pull off a Dobbs Viking story and keep it going again? I don't know. The Colts are kind of sneaky hot right now too. They just had that overtime win last week. So I don't know. I was pretty torn up on this one. I'm picking the Bengals because I have Jamar Chase in another fantasy league,
Mhm.
and I'm struggling to make the playoffs because I drafted him in Burrow. So I picked up the backup
Browning.
Browning, and we're gonna ride that out. I don't know why I've just stuck with this team all year, but I don't know. Usually, anytime I bet against the Colts, it doesn't work out well in my favor.
Yeah, the Jake Browning, he looked good in that game. He actually looks really good against the
Yeah.
Jaguars. Just off of that eye test, that does give me the nod there. So that's why I give the Bengals two. I also, admittedly, I haven't been good with Colts picks either. I've been more down on them in general, and so I've taken a fair amount of losses there. But
Yeah.
I'm still gonna go with the Bengals here.
I mean, like looking in, they're 7-5. Like they should probably win this game, but for some reason we
Yeah.
just don't want to pick them. That's the same record the Texans have, 7-5. And like I feel like they've had a way better
But
season,
you feel
but
more
they're
positive about them, yeah. Just
yeah,
when you think of
exactly. Rather than the more ups and downs that the Colts have had to ride through this year with Richardson and Minshew, whatever. Jonathan
yeah.
Taylor. There's a lot more drama there. So I think their 7-5 season is going a little more under the radar.
Yeah, JT's still out too.
Yeah. So we got Jags at Cleveland Browns.
So do we know if Trevor Lawrence is gonna play it? Probably a little too
I'm
soon.
pretty sure he's not gonna play.
It says will probably be game time decision.
Hmm. It said high ankle sprain. That's usually pretty hard to play the week after. Wasn't he no, they were Sunday, right? Or was it a Monday game?
Regardless, I do think it, yeah, 1 week might be pushing it a little bit too much.
Yeah.
It was Monday night.
Yeah. So
Already
is
this
that's even one less day.
the fact that they thought it was possibly like season ending or multiple weeks and it's possibly only
Yeah.
like week to week, I think it's just worth it to just skip this one.
Well, in that case, I'm changing my pick to the Browns.
What do I got
F
right
the
now?
Jags.
I have the Jags right now too. The thing is, I don't know who's going to play for the Browns either. If it's going to be Joe Flacco again or Dorian
Yeah.
Thompson Robinson. They said he just cleared the concussion protocol.
Ride Joe Flacco again. He didn't play that bad.
Yeah, he actually looked pretty
He
good.
played pretty good, right?
That's what I'm saying. So if he's at home again against a backup quarterback with that Browns defense, I kind
Ah,
of I kind of like the Browns then.
I know. It's
So
it's saying on ESPN it's 55% Jags, 45% Browns. So I don't know what's the line. Dude, Cleveland's favored, -3.
I'm just gonna say right now. Well, actually, yeah, because I think even if Trevor Lawrence plays, I don't think he's just not, he might not look right or something. He might be limited or some way. So for me, regardless of if Trevor Lawrence plays, if Joe Flacco plays, I'm gonna go Browns.
Yeah,
If he
I'm with you.
doesn't, then if DTR plays,
Maybe
I'm
we change.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna switch mine to Browns.
I just did.
Okay. All right.
This is the week 14 live pick 'em. You're seeing it here, folks.
All right.
This next game, I just hate these teams so much, man. It's just, what is with this division? I just can't
Yeah, that's
stand it. I
NFC South.
cannot stand it. I hate the Saints. They screw me every week, dude.
Derek
Every
Carr.
week they cost me a win in the pool. And it's starting to really bother me. And the same thing happens with the stupid Falcons. And then I always want to pick the Panthers because they beat my team for their only freaking win. And I'm
Oh
like,
yeah.
hey, if they could beat the Texans, like, come on, they
That-
can win
Yeah.
another game. But like they can't. So it drives me up the wall. And
Yeah.
I swear every week I have to like choose between two teams that I hate. I get it wrong every time.
This game for Saints looks like no Derek Carr and then possible no Taysom Hill. So it could just be Jameis.
Jameis interception Winston. Oh, but then you got mini Bryce Young on the other side
Anyways,
with no help whatsoever.
yeah. And they're away too. So
Yeah.
give me the Saints and the Dome.
Oh boy. Oh, I have the Saints picked so far, and I guess I'm gonna stick with that. Maybe a game time decision change on my part. Every time I go with them, I regret it and they don't win. And then I pick against them and they like hear me and rise out.
Week 14 though, just like feeler, we'll have our own individual episode about this, but like how are you feeling still now about having drafted CJ Stroud?
Very happy still. Yeah. And Will Anderson Jr. both have made huge impacts already to the team.
And just in comparison to Bryce Young, that team just looks completely lost.
I'm
Fired
really
their coach.
happy I didn't have Frank Reich as my coach as well. So I don't think that was a good hire either. We talked about that a year ago. I'm way happier with my coach, my new QB, and my new head of my defense.
It's crazy how like just one pick away, how like it can completely change, you
Mm-hmm.
know?
Mm-hmm. And
Okay.
I bet the Texans leaked all that stuff that Stroud wasn't good because if
Yeah.
Nick Casario is probably a dick like that.
Yeah. No, I agree. And not to take anything away from CJ Stroud, because I do think he's the better quarterback. But I think there is also something to be said about like just the organization. And it just looks like Texans organization, just in general, just the better
Fixed a
overall
lot of
and
problems.
everything in
Yeah.
general. Like you said with D'Amico and everything. And then obviously
Yeah.
Carolina Panthers just in shambles, as you can see
Only
with the
took
firing.
more of a
Yeah.
step back for
So
them.
yeah. So it only
Yeah.
could help CJ Stroud. But yeah.
Totally.
So
Yeah.
okay,
Moving
cool.
on to the
To
Houston
the Houston
Texans.
Texans.
Good segue there. Taking on the New York Football Jets.
I just
Obviously, we know I have the Texans here.
And I just read that it looks like they're getting handing back the reins on the Jets side to Zach Wilson. So,
Oh, joy. Nice. Well, they'll put up about 6 points, couple of field goals.
or a defensive
So, yep.
touchdown.
Yes, that's what you do have to look out for. It'll be a good test for CJ playing up against a sniping defense like the
Mhm.
Jets. That should be fun. I don't think that they won't be able to put up points, but I think as long as our defense plays well
Oh
and
yeah.
Zach Wilson does his Zach Wilson thing, this should be a good win.
Yeah. And when I was saying that too, it actually wasn't a knock on your Houston offense. It was actually
No,
more like the fact that the Jets, if they get any points, it's not going to be from Zach Wilson. It's going to be more
yeah,
likely from their special teams or their defense. But
exactly. Which
but yeah,
they've scored like half as many points as the offense probably this year, or probably the same amount.
yeah, it's crazy how they beat the Eagles too. I can't stand that's one of our only losses too. Like you
I
mentioned
know.
the Panthers, Jets,
Yeah.
that blows my mind.
Yeah. It just, like
That's the NFL though.
it is. Any given Sunday, anybody can win.
That's what
We've
makes
seen a lot of backup quarterbacks win this year.
that's what makes Pick'em interesting, 'cause
Absolutely.
it's not always the
Yeah.
favorites. Yeah.
No, it's always about can you get that one upset right? Just
But that being
magically.
said, Texans.
Yes. Yes.
All right. All right. Moving on to the next one. We got Rams visiting the Baltimore Ravens. Rams looks like they're getting a little bit better actually on offense overall. Pretty healthy. Visiting Ravens, arguably one of the top AFC teams in Baltimore.
Yeah.
Give me the Ravens.
Give me the Ravens. I think Jets or sorry, Rams are improving, but Ravens are they look good this year. They look like they're firing in all cylinders. Odell is finding, rhythm there. Finally, Lamar has a couple of decent receivers.
The defense is like
Defense is
borderline elite.
playing really good. Yeah, I don't think there's a lot to say here. I think Ravens win easy at home. Vikings at Las Vegas Raiders. This was a tough pick here. This is one of the last ones I chose on. We don't really know who the Raiders are this year. They've
Hmm.
never really had an identity. And as much as we don't know the Vikings' identity, I think it's a little bit more established now in the past month or so with what Dobbs has done post the Kirk Cousins era for this year. So, with that being said, I got to pick the Vikings. I just don't know what you're going to get with the Raiders week in, week out.
Yeah.
I think Justin
Um,
Jefferson might be coming back too.
it looks like this could be the return game. Yeah.
So,
I did see
yeah.
something weird earlier on about they were like questionable about starting Dobbs. So that
Hmm.
kind of threw me for a loop for a second, but it looks like he's going to be playing. And like
Okay.
you said, they have established identity since the loss of Kirk Cousins over the past few weeks. So as much as I like the Raiders kind of like feel good story with Antonio Pierce, I do think the culture has been a lot better. It's in the
Oh,
right
yeah.
direction, but I still think the Vikings.
Got a long way to go.
NFC West divisional matchup, Seahawks visiting the 49ers. Seahawks looks like been playing all right. They have some running backs that are a little bit banged up, but visiting a juggernaut in the 49ers just blew out my
Yeah.
Eagles right now, let's be honest. And they're at home. So I actually
I'm
think
going
it's,
with the Niners.
yeah, Niners. But Seahawks, I feel like they always do play them close. It's like one of those things.
I would love the Seahawks to put up some points. My buddy DK Metcalf over there. So
Could see
it'd
it.
be good for another week like last week. He had like 36 points, but he'll probably get like four, I'm guessing, this week. Buffalo Bills at Kansas City Chiefs. Tough matchup. Both teams, I want, even though the Chiefs are 8-4, do we kind of feel like they're not having as good of a year as they normally do?
Yeah, definitely. Same
Eh,
for the Bills, obviously.
Totally. Couple of weird losses for both teams. But like we said, that's any given Sunday on the NFL. Some teams just show up that day. That being said, I think Arrowhead is still a very hard place to play. I think the Chiefs win here, even though it's going to be a very close game. But Josh Allen, just too many turnovers this year, late in games as well. So if they're going to come out and win this game, I think he's going to have to take care of the football and make some plays.
Agree pretty much with everything you said there. The deciding factor for me really is the home field advantage for the Chiefs. Like you said, both teams kind of just not been playing up to their potential. Who knows if it's schedule? Who knows if it's maybe a little bit lack of motivation on the Chiefs' part? Sometimes, just
A lot of
considerable
distractions, outside
distraction.
noise.
I have the Chiefs slotted in right now. Next game, we have the Denver Broncos against the Los Angeles Chargers. It kind of blows my mind that the Broncos have a better record.
I know. The Chargers have just lost so many close games this year.
And I feel like the
Um,
Broncos have won a lot of close games.
yeah, they were 1-5, and now they're 6-6. Credit somebody. I don't really want to credit Russell or Sean Payton, but credit somebody.
I don't either, but I give it to them in
Um,
some respects. Yeah.
right now I have the Chargers picked.
Yeah, I do too.
It's probably not the right choice. Denver has a little bit more momentum, I feel like. They're still kind of riding high on like we're going to prove everyone wrong after this horrible start. And the Chargers just never feel like they have that will to win. But for some reason, I keep picking them.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Chargers.
There's going to be a
Um,
lot of orange in SoFi. You know that. I don't know. I think if any time for them to start going on anything, this would be the week to do it. So why
yeah,
not? And I want Eckler to go off, so I'm going Chargers.
yeah, I'm with you there. Chargers.
Sunday night marquee matchup. Philadelphia Eagles at the Cowboys. Eagles have not won at the Cowboys in 4 years, something like that.
I don't know that stat, but
I saw that the other day on TV. I think they've lost the last three or four at Cowboys.
usually we split every year. Eagles won the
Mm-hmm.
first one.
Close game. Could have gone
Coming,
either way, right?
co-
It
yeah,
came down to the wire.
Eagles coming off a bad loss to the 49ers.
I think that's in your favor
Oh, yeah.
this time, actually. And the motivation will be high, especially your most hated opponent.
We get
Somebody's got to know that stat that they haven't won there in a few years and be pissed about it.
we get Dallas
Probably
Goddard
Jason
back.
Kelsey, Oh, you're getting
Yeah.
Goddard back? That's huge.
Dallas and Dallas, yeah.
It's going to be a really close game. It's going to come down to who makes the least mistakes because both football teams are very talented. But who's going to make a pick? Who's going to fumble? Who's going to not be able to have the ball at the end of the game? Something like that. If the Eagles have the ball at the end of the game and this game's tied, I have faith that the Eagles close it out. I've seen them win so many games this year just at the end and figuring it out. I don't feel like I've seen Dallas do that as much. We've seen Dallas dominate a lot of teams,
Yeah,
but
they've dominated a lot of lesser teams.
yeah,
Not to discredit any wins, but I feel like
yeah.
the Eagles, while the Eagles have been knocked for their close wins, they have been against good teams.
Mm-hmm.
This
What
is
other commentary do you got?
not much else. It's just concerns, small concerns about Jalen Hurts' health, just making sure he's 100%. But we just need to get the running game back on track. I think that'll open up a lot of things. Admittedly, this is actually one of the first games this whole season where this is more of a heart over head pick. So I'm going Eagles. But up until now, I can honestly say or confidently say it was all like I felt like Eagles were going to win those games. But like the Bills and the Chiefs, I've had a good
Yeah,
feeling. But this game, I don't get great. feelings about, to be completely honest.
Yeah,
But this
it's
is
pretty close. It's 52% Eagles,
yeah.
48% Cowboys.
But
So
when it,
that's about as close as you can get.
but when it gets this close, I just can't go against my team at this point against
No,
Cowboys. So I got to go Eagles here.
I get it. I really struggled too. For those reasons that I mentioned earlier about the 49ers loss and being your most hated opponent, not having won there in a few weeks, I'm also going to pick the Eagles.
Oh, okay. I would not be surprised if you went Cowboys.
Yeah,
But okay,
I really
okay.
thought about it. I think it'll be a really close game. Like I said, who makes the least mistakes?
Games
Double
left.
Monday night matchup. Tennessee Titans at Dolphins, Green Bay Packers at Football Giants. I think these are pretty easy picks both ways. In fact, it's 99% pick
I
Dolphins
was gonna
and
say.
1% Titans. I
I
don't
was
know
just
if
about
I've
to say.
ever seen that.
I was literally just about to comment that when right after you.
Wow. Not that the Titans are
They're
like that bad,
but
but
yeah,
man,
Dolphins are already like 13.5 point favorites.
see, I'd be scared about some of those types of things, but they just have the ability to put up points in like 2 seconds. So they're going to be throwing bombs to Tyreek Hill. He's trying to break the record.
Yeah,
He's
less
got
than
like 400 yards or something to go,
yeah, like
right?
yeah, just under 600, I think, 500
Okay,
something. But he's
something like
close. He's
that.
close. Yeah.
A couple more big games, he's right there. I think we both have the Dolphins picked.
Yeah.
I'm hoping for a
Easy.
big game from Tua. We'll see what happens,
Probably
but
get another
I
one here. Yeah.
I think it'll be a big win for the Dolphins.
Titans have one of the worst secondaries this year.
Nice.
So it just screams
Let's go. This is
bombs.
our fantasy playoff starting this week, honestly. Like we need to win.
I'm
And
just glad I don't play you this week
yeah,
against
we've
that team with that.
you've
Yeah.
didn't you rip me last week?
No, it was close. It was close.
Okay. Oh yeah, I did put up some points at the end, but
Yeah.
you scored a lot.
Got
This
a
last
couple
one
minutes
is
left.
Packers at
They
Giants.
they saved the best game for the whole week last. Yeah. This is DeVito versus Jordan Love.
I don't know. They could have put Tampa Bay Falcons on Monday night or Carolina at the Saints.
God.
I have the Packers picked here.
Yeah, Jordan Love looks good.
He
Or
looks like he's figuring
he's
it out
yeah, that's a better way of putting it. Yeah.
for sure. He looks more and more confident. He doesn't look phased anymore.
Yeah.
He looks like he's not like a deer in the headlights. He's
Looks
starting to figure it out.
looks comfortable. The Packers team is I think it's one of the youngest in the whole league. I thought that was
Yeah. They
interesting.
have a lot of growing to do.
A lot
I
of
think they
speed.
have a good coach. He just needs some time to develop. Giants are just a mess. You never know what you're going to get. I'm picking the Packers. No
Same.
question.
Same. Cool. Perfect timing.
Cool. Well, that was all of the picks. Couple of tough ones there. Couple of interesting matchups. Looking forward to that Eagles Cowboys game.
Most definitely.
Can't believe it's week 14 already. You believe that?
No, it just came and went.
Just
Yeah.
this just comes by so fast. Comes and goes so fast. But yeah, we got a fun fantasy thing going. Couple of people fighting for the last spot. And we'll see what happens.
Yeah. We'll have to touch on that in a later video. But yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. For Jeff,
Shablavish.
Andy, thanks for tuning into the Schlabcast.
Thank you so much. We'll shab
Shaba.
you later.